Hey y'all. So October is almost coming to a close, and I wanted to do another talk about things related to domestic violence or intimate partner abuse. So today we're going to talk about sexual trauma. Now, I chose sexual trauma instead of sexual assault or abuse because it encompasses almost all of the sexual facets of abuse that happens. Okay, so I kind of wanted to bring in also how it affects the victim. All right, so definition first, right? So the definition is any sexual act that is imposed on another person without their consent. Okay, so any sexual act. And these sexual acts could include sexual assault or rape, sexual child abuse, harassment, intimate partner abuse, exploitation, trafficking. And I know that trafficking is there's a lot in the news about trafficking now, where women are being targeted and kidnapped and all of that kind of stuff. Okay. There's also media sharing, and that's where maybe you're talking to a young lady, she's sending you a picture or a video or whatever, because you all are dialoguing and she feels safe with you doing that, and then you're sharing it with other people. Okay. And spiking is drugging. Okay. So in a situation where you may be at a bar with a young lady, things are going well or whatever, and when she turns her head, you put something in her drink to make her incapacitated. That's what they call spiking. Now, all of these things is considered to be sexual assault. Okay, so I want to be clear about that. Now, how does sexual assault happen? Now, of course, you could say vulnerability, right? Vulnerability. But how does it make the person vulnerable? Like, with a woman, we're already vulnerable because we're women. Now, yeah, we could be superwoman. Yeah, we can have the strength of 10,000 men or whatever we're going to do. But there are some vulnerabilities with us, whether that be we're looking for love in all the wrong places or whatever. There's some vulnerability there, okay? But the other piece of that is that you have people that are trying to manipulate. They're trying to coerce you into doing something, whether they are using, well, I'm going to give you this love, but I need that, okay? Or, I'm this person or that person, but I need this, or, why not? I mean, we're grown, you hear that a lot. Why not? We're grown. It's like the only thing that grown people do is have sex. I'm just saying. But, those type of things to try to coerce you or make you feel more comfortable letting down your guard so that person can get what they want. Unfortunately, that's mostly all they want is to lay down with you. Okay. Now, unfortunately, with this, women are being blamed a lot of the times for it, saying, well, why were you in a private space with this person? Well, okay, at some point in a date, you may be in a private space. And it may be 3 or 4 days down the line. It may be 2, 3 months down the line, whatever the case. But there gonna be a time where you're in a private space with that person. So are you saying that you're not supposed to be in a private place with that person because men can't control themselves? I mean, is that what we're saying these days? Because let's be clear. What's behind sexual assault, sexual abuse, or sexual trauma is power. That's number one. Okay. And who has the power? Okay. Secondly, not being disciplined. And who should be disciplined in the case? Okay. Three, entitlement. Let's be clear. A lot of times women have said no, and they have been beaten, they've been killed, all of those things. So if they're in a situation, they're in a space with a person and they're saying no, and this person is not adhering to their no, they got to make a choice. Okay. Because that person has already said that I'm entitled to you. I feel like I'm entitled to you because I took you out to dinner, or because you had dessert, or because I've been dating you for 3 months or whatever. So I'm entitled to have your body. Okay. And in that case, what is the woman supposed to do? Okay. Now, the other thing is depravity. And with that one, that just means that to the core, the person is terrible. Okay. They're just all about their sinful nature and all about, whatever it is that's, their desire is. And they are not worried about what happens to the other person. But let's talk about what happens to the other person. Okay. They have physical issues. Yes, there are physical symptoms, whether that be pain in the body in the place where this took place or in another part of the body. There's difficulty sleeping, there's hyperarousal, and in hyperarousal, that's when you are in a space where you you're always alert. You're looking at everything. Like you can't miss anything because if you feel like if you do, you're not safe. And honestly, this situation is all about safety. The person never really feels safe, but we're going to that. Um, they have changes in their appetite, and they can be very tearful, obviously. They can also have psychological issues where they're self-harming, where they're cutting themselves, not enough to like kill themselves or anything like that, but enough to, to release like the anger or the frustration or the hurt. So they feel like if I just cut a little bit, I can release something, right? So that can cause them to do that. It could cause mood swings. It can also cause changes in beliefs. So in that case, the person could, maybe their mom and dad called them little angel or little princess. After the assault, it's like, obviously, I'm not a princess. I'm not an angel because this person treated me this way, and therefore the core value of the person changes. And it's more like, well, if I'm going to be, if I'm going to, have love or whatever, I have to do this. I can't be the little angel anymore, or whatever. Um, it could be emotional issues where suicide ideation can come up. And of course, we've talked about that before. If you have any kind of suicide ideation, or you want to, you feel like the world's come to an end for you, please dial 911. Okay? 911 is your friend. 988 as well. And you can call anytime. You can text 988 as well. And somebody will talk to you and talk you through it. Okay? There is help out there. But you can have disassociation as well, where you're in a space where you're feeling like, okay, it's happening to my body, but I don't want it to happen to me. So you kind of separate yourself. Emotional numbing, that's when you don't want to feel anything because feeling anything means that you may feel everything. Okay. um Guilt, shame. Now with that one, a lot of times this happens when a woman is raped and then she goes and she tells someone. First thing a lot of people do is shame her. Well, what were you wearing? What did you say to him? How did you lead him on? That kind of thing. So it makes the woman feel like she can't be open and say whatever it was, okay? Because she's going to be blamed for what happened to her. And 1 out of 5 women have had a sexual assault to happen to them. 1 out of 5. So if you put 5 women in a room, at least one of them have had that kind of experience. Okay. And that's a lot. And a lot of times it does not report it because the woman feels like they're going to interrogate me. And that's re-victimizing the victim. Okay. So be careful when you are having these conversations with someone who's gone through something like that. Okay. Now, some of the long-term effects. The coping strategies are off the charts. They are either overly this or overly that. They're looking at people like, like the all men ain't nothing, all men are gonna hurt you, all men, you get what I'm saying? And that is to protect themselves because they feel like if they can hope for something, that they're gonna be let down. They're only gonna be used and abused. Okay. They can have PTSD. That's something that I definitely struggle with, PTSD, because I've had a lot of trauma in my life, and a lot of it has been sexual trauma. And so for me, I can have a flashback at any time. Now, of course, I have somebody working with me that can help me through that. But at the same time, I don't know when the trigger is going to happen. I don't know how it's going to happen. It could be a smell. It could be a grunt. It could be anything. But it can cause you to go back to that time. Okay. Now, it can cause mental health disorders. And that mental health disorder could be a disassociation. Now, with disassociation, how I can describe that is you're in a space. This man is doing this thing after you've told him no. He's still carrying on like you didn't say anything. And in your mind, the first thing you're thinking is, okay, I can't keep fighting because it seems like he's only getting more aggressive as I fight. So what I need to do is just stop and just let it happen the way it's happening, and just like remove myself from my body. Okay. That does happen two women or two people who are experiencing something where they are not in control, where they're helpless in the situation. They can literally have an out of body experience where they're watching themselves be assaulted. Okay. Now, at that space, the if you've done all the fighting and the screaming and everything you can, what's going to be important right then is that you can leave the space safely. Okay. Now, again, a lot of times people, well, take these classes, self-defense, blah, 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 woo, woo. Yeah, you can do all of those things. Okay. All of those things could be helpful. Take you some mace. All of those things could be helpful. But here's the thing. If you can't get out, you didn't spray this person and you can't get out, you have caused the situation to be worse, because then they're pissed off. That could be domestic violence situation or even death on the woman. So let's just really think about this, okay? Instead of putting all the emphasis on the person who is being abused, why don't we talk to the people who are the abusers? I'm just saying, okay? I just want to make it clear. Now, the thing is, when you've gone through something like this, you never really feel safe. I could tell you this is a truth for me. The only time I have truly felt safe is with my son, Jonathan. I'm not going to lie to you. I know. And the reason why is because he is a person that can feel me. Like, he feels my energy. So whenever my energy is off, I know he feels it. He is very, very vigilant. And he's a person that watches everything around us. He showed me that very clearly. I've seen it here, but when we were in Jamaica, he showed me that he didn't miss a thing. I felt the most free and the most comfortable while we were away. I knew that with me and everybody else that was there, Jonathan was going to make sure we were okay. Even if he was drinking or whatever, he was going to make sure. That's the only person I have actually felt completely safe with. And that is just the truth. Even in a space by myself, I don't feel completely safe by myself. And that's just the truth, because of all of the traumas that have happened in my life. Now, of course, I'm working through all of that at this point. But at the same time, I'm just being honest about how the effects of these sexual traumas can have on a person. Okay, they can depersonalize, where they just disconnect. They can even do a derealization. And in that case, what they do is the world is outside. It is not real. And that's how I'm going to keep myself safe. I'm going to look at this world as if it is not real. Okay. And that's a sad place to be. You can't even look around yourself and say, okay, I'm in a real space. And in this real space, I am safe. That's a real problem. This is a real problem if we're having that kind of issue, okay? So now, I'm going to go to the Bible so we can talk about what the Bible says, okay? So in Deuteronomy 22nd chapter, 25 through 27 verses says, "But if a man finds a betrothed young woman in the countryside, and the man forces her and lies with her, then only the man who lays with her shall die." Okay, you hear that? All right. "But you shall do nothing to the young woman. There is in the young woman no sin deserving of death. But for just as when a man rises against his neighbor and kills him, even so in this matter. For he found her in the countryside, and the betrothed woman cried out, but there was no one to save her." So what the Bible is saying in this case is, a man violating a woman is worth death. But we should not be brutalizing the woman, shaming the woman, making the woman feel any type of way because of the behavior of the man and what happened to her. But we are quick to do that. Now, of course, I believe in accountability. Of course I do. But I think it's really, really important for us to understand that this is not just about accountability here. We're in a world where women are not safe. Our bodies are not safe. Right now, there are places that we can't even, like if we were to get raped or something like that, we can't even go and get an abortion. We would have to carry the child. Like, that's how much the body of a woman is not protected. But the men are. And I don't understand that part either, to be honest, because it's like they don't actually need the protection. Do y'all need the protection? I thought we did, but I could be wrong. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But I just want to bring that to you. Now, if you have experienced any of this, and I know this is a long video, but it needs to be done. If you experience any of this, I want you to know, girlfriend, it is not your fault. Okay? You're beautiful, you're vibrant. This man was attracted to your light and he decided he wanted a piece of that light. Okay? Or maybe he just wanted to dim your light. Whatever the case is. But what happened to you is not your fault. I don't care if you walk down the street in a bodysuit that was crystal clear and some stripper heels. Your body is still your body. Nobody should be touching you unless you give them consent. That includes anybody trying to manipulate you into feeling you less than, so therefore you should give it to them. That includes anyone who's trying to coerce you. That includes anybody who is just plotting, okay? You should not feel obligated to do anything with anyone. They are not entitled to your body. They're not entitled to your time. They're not entitled to anything. And I do understand in this day and age, we do have to be careful how we let people down and all that, because a lot of times those are the people who really violate us. Okay, so I understand. So yeah, of course, be strategic. Of course, check your surroundings. Of course, if you can be with a group of people, by all means, do that. But understand, whatever happens is not your fault. Okay? I want to be clear. You are a victim. You are not a part of the victimization. You deserve to be protected. Okay? And I'm speaking from experience because I have been blamed. I have been chastised. I have been told it's all my fault. I have been told I shouldn't have been so beautiful. I've been told a lot of things of the reason why men can't control themselves around me, which is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So, girlfriend, just know that I'm with you. I love you. Just take care of yourself. If something like this happens to you, please get a therapist to help you through. Understand that healing is not overnight. It's not going to be overnight. There are going to be times that you're going to be going along about your business and a trigger happen. That trigger is just like a smoke alarm. It's just letting you know, okay, there's something that needs my attention, and deal with it as it comes. But understand you deserve love. You deserve support. You deserve someone to hear you. You deserve someone who's going to say, I got you. Okay? Just because this person feels entitled and they are unable to give you what you deserve does not mean you don't deserve it, okay? Now, the song for today is Rain on Me. I'm looking in the mirror at this woman down and out. She's internally dying and know that that's not what love's about. I don't want to be this woman the second time around. 'Cause I'm waking, I'm screaming, no longer believing that I'm gonna be around. And over I tried. And over you lied. And over I cried. Yeah. And over I tried. And over you lied. And over I cried. And I don't know why. Rain on me. Lord, won't you take this pain from me? 'Cause I don't want to live, I don't want to breathe. Could you just rain on me? Lord, won't you take this pain from me? 'Cause I don't want to live, I don't want to breathe. If you feel that way, go to God. Get some help. You deserve the support, okay? Keep going. Don't let him steal your joy. Don't let him steal your life. He was never worth it if he had to take it, okay? Take care. God bless you.